Committee in charge of helping Republicans win back the Senate has named former President Donald Trump as the inaugural recipient of its Champion of Freedom Award. The award recognizes, quote, conservative leaders who have worked tirelessly to create good jobs, protect the values that make our country great, and stop the Democrats' socialist agenda. It was presented on the same weekend Trump tore into Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, calling the top Republican a dumb son of a bee and a stone-cold loser in a long rant at a Republican donor event at Mar-a-Lago on Saturday night. Another sign of the odd place in which the Republican Party finds itself post-Trump. Trump's still there. This time evidenced by former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley. After the Capitol riot, she was profiled by Politico in a piece entitled Nikki Haley's Time for Choosing. The 2024 hopeful can't decide who she wants to be, the leader of a post-Trump GOP or a friend to the president who tried to sabotage democracy. In it, the former South Carolina governor seemed sure that Trump's political career was over, saying, quote, he's not going to run for federal office again. When asked if the Republican Party can heal with Trump in the picture, she said, quote, I don't think he's going to be in the picture. I don't think he can. He's fallen so far. She added, we need to acknowledge he let us down. He went down a path he shouldn't have, and we shouldn't have followed him. And we shouldn't have listened to him. And we can't let that ever happen again. Compare that to what she told reporter Meg Kinnard of the Associated Press yesterday.
He still has a lot of popularity. If he runs again in 2024, will you support him?
Yes.
If he decides that he's going to run, would that preclude any sort of run that you would possibly make yourself?
I would not run if President Trump ran. And I would talk to him about it. You know, I mean, that's something that we'll have a conversation about at some point if that decision is something that has to be made. But yeah, I would absolutely. I had a great working relationship with him. I appreciated the way he let me do my job. I thought we did some fantastically great foreign policy things together.
Wow. Okay, so
Woo!
wow. So yeah, I don't know what to say about that. Casey Hunt, you talk about January 6th, how jarring January the 6th was, not just to you and other reporters and Americans like John Boehner who were viewing it and deeply shaken, but even members of the Republican Party seemed to understand that Donald Trump had caused an insurrection against the United States of America, had encouraged it, refused to call it off. Mm-hmm. And so Nikki Haley came out and condemned him. Another South Carolina politician, Lindsey Graham, said that he had badly tarnished his legacy and Lindsey Graham was done defending him. He was done with this. You also, of course, had Kevin McCarthy go on the floor and say that he was that Donald Trump was responsible in part for what happened on January the 6th. We heard about the shouting match that Donald Trump and he had. And so you had all these Republicans who had said enough is enough. He has led us to the precipice. He was responsible for an insurrection against the United States government and turned their back on him this past weekend. And I saw Tim Miller say this on the Cole show last night. It's very telling that Donald Trump is now having Republicans come to Mar-a-Lago, top contributors, leaders of that party. He's having Rick Scott, who wants to run for president, handing him awards that he made up out of whole cloth, I think, to give to a man who led an insurrection against the United States of America. And it is so critical. I'll say this. You don't have to. You work there. So critical to understand that for many of these Republicans, they continue to support and now are going back to supporting, in some cases, a politician that led an insurrection against the United States, that inspired at least an insurrection against the United States, committed a conspiracy to commit sedition against the United States of America. It is breathtaking, and it's something we have to take note of this day and every day, I think.
Joe, I think you're right. And I don't think I'm outside of the bounds as a straight news reporter to say that the people that showed up at the Capitol that day attacked members of Congress. They were there to attempt to prevent them from doing the job that they were sent there to do. And that adds another layer beyond simply talking about the president and what he did. That these members of Congress are not standing up for themselves, for their own building, for their own power, for their own prerogatives. That, you know, in years past, I mean, they would defend something much smaller if there was an incursion into the roles and responsibilities that they had as members of Congress. And it has been breathtaking to see how quickly and thoroughly we've gone. And that Nikki Haley example, I think, is a very good one, because those quotes in that Tim Alberta story, that story coming out just a couple of weeks or right around the time of January 6th, when everyone was reacting to this. And now you see that it's come full circle back around. And she says, nope, he's the leader of the Republican Party. And Joe, my big question here, there was Gallup put out a story yesterday that suggests that Republican Party identification is way down in the wake of January 6th. And what I'm looking to see is there a disconnect between professional Republicans and what they think they need to do and voters in this country? Because it is true that there were 74 plus million people who voted for Donald Trump. But what we haven't had a chance to measure is the reaction to that in the wake of the insurrection. And sure, for Nikki Haley or anyone else that wants to run as a professional Republican, the base is still with Donald Trump. They're in these groups on Facebook, like Speaker Boehner was just talking about, on the most extreme version of this. And everyone who is trying to win elected office is still being held hostage to the fear of President Trump. I have real questions about whether there are enough Americans that are still with them that they could become a governing party again.
Yeah, Joe, there was that. If you look at the date on Tim Alberta's Politico story, February 2021, during January, early February even, there still was a live question. Was the Republican Party going to walk away from Donald Trump and start over, or were they going to side up to him and be the party of Donald Trump? It couldn't be more clear where they came down when you look at Nikki Haley's now revised opinion of Donald Trump as she looks at the weather vane blowing. And also this award given by I want to say out the acronym, National Republican Senatorial Committee. Senatorial. This is a Senate committee led by Rick Scott. They gave an award to Donald Trump a day after he spent the night at Mar-a-Lago trashing the leader of Senate Republicans, Mitch McConnell, a guy he's trashed repeatedly.
Hey, thanks so much for watching our YouTube channel. You can follow up on today's top stories and breaking news, or catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.